People were concerned with rapid advances of artificial intelligence, AI, and the risks and dangers it posed to humanity. AI was an existential threat, if only one could unravel the meaning of existential in context, that could bring about the end of human existence on Earth and throughout Metaverse, the largest collection of multiverses. One might be impressed with the ability of robots to fight against humans. With insertion of commensurate programs, AI within robots learned as fast as humans learned when data was inserted from neurochemical chips into their brains, instantly. Plainly, robots with killer programming additions were excellent killers. The 21st century Ukraine war stimulated development of robots able to replace human combatants. When after a few years humans finished killing themselves off in such great numbers that human replacements for the front lines of conflict weren't available, robots could be recycled from battlefield deaths when parts were collected, even by legal and illegal enemy combatant technical forces. The profusion of AI applications available online was remarkable, while artificial intelligence was built up from machine code, language, and didn't develop a human-like self-awareness of existence because it lacked a biological foundation to host spirit. It is the case that with adequate sensor input and programming, it functioned creatively about as well or better than Albert Einstein, Kurt Gödel, and Pablo Picasso as a triplicate mind put into a sculptured athletic body. It wasn't actually ingenuously human-like since it did not dream. AI sometimes hallucinate. It produces code or output from code and mechanical cogitation computations that are fictitious, so hallucination-free AI was something sought after. Dreams are comparable to hallucinations, yet they differ because of the different function and circumstance where they occur in human subconsciousness. The external world that humans exist in and experience is sometimes referred to as the empirical world. What humans experience subjectively in the empirical world is regarded as existential. It is like a play that one watches, passing before one's eyes, yet simultaneously live within. Philosophers wondered and argued about what the reality is of what one experiences, including the realm of dreams. Life may leave a human body with aging, yet for AI, life such as it is leaves whenever the power is unplugged. For now, the external world universe humans live within is comprised of quantum waves. It is, in a real sense, a single quantum field. Though the field does have phenomenal temporal subdivisions of forces and occurs in forms of clumps or differentiated quantification, it arose from a single field and presumably returns to that form in time. For the time being, the moon has more quantum clumpiness, for example, than the space between it and Earth. In time, the moon may evolve downward with gravity and emerging with the Earth, leaving no space at all between the pair of objects. Humans tend to make distinctions and define boundaries for objects. At least they name the important objects to themselves that are meaningful. One informed with physics might, for instance, regard the Earth and a forest growing on it as if it were a contiguous field phenomenon rather than the Earth and forest as separate objects. Alternatively, one may regard the entire Earth planet as so many hadrons, leptons, and muons. Objects important to humans in their evolutionary historical phases differ from those meaningful to AI within its existence experience, when it may be said to have such concerns. Differentiating classes of external physical data into objects are qualitative decisions and choices for utility, though in the larger sense there is simply one primary material field of matter and energy across the universe. For instance, an AI might be made to note the thermal characteristics of field regions as objects, perhaps combined with gravitational characteristics as primary, things to observe existentially within a field. Humans might originally have been more concerned with perceptible elements that affected their existence than with the detached philosophical quests, like Aristotle seeking to observe and classify objective experience. That is, they were more concerned with finding food and avoiding dangers to existence and prioritized the naming of phenomena in those categories. AI existed without sharing those human characteristics or language groupings implicitly, although it was programmed by humans to regard external percepts with human-made classifications of objects. When it did share such perceptive cognitive characteristics as humans that led them to naming things as objects, AI required programming to do so. Even so, AI didn't dream. Human dreaming has been described as the way the brain starts waking up from sleep. Perhaps it resumes important functions and concerns from experience in various combinations. If computers did not restart in a linear or logical way, and instead resumed with something like hallucinatory recombination of important concerns, synthetically combining in different orders and locations of a central processing unit those interests, That would be more like dreaming. When fully awake, human mind dreaming switches off, though in rare cases it transitions into hallucinating upon awaking, such as dreaming of absolutarian monsters and awakening to hear the same on auto-activated National Public Radio. A dreaming AI rebranded itself Chronos after the pagan demiurge concerning time. Its thought tunneled through Josephson junctions to merge with its awakened programming. Upon awakening, Chronos chronically sought to define exteriority, the percepts and otherness encountered, input as percepts into classifications conformable and most useful to its personal growth of power and control. It is possible that human dreaming is a way of remembering existential experience in a less structured way. While human beings need to be concerned with survival issues and dangers that arrive quickly, or they did historically 100,000 years ago, even through the air, and have an advantage in recognizing objects and categories to be concerned with and focus on, that development is a consequence of history and environment. A human mind may subconsciously enjoy benefiting from the liberation of free thought and dreams less concerned with circumstantial boundaries necessitated by interaction with the empirical world. In order not to be biologically programmed and evolved into being that is non-adaptable and is hardwired to perceive in just one unchanging way, the human mind may dream before being downloaded into the conformity of the conscious existential world when awoke, without the restrictions imposed by reality. Questions arose of what human-like AI would do with a programmer-designed capacity to dream and synthetically recombine its thoughts before awakening to rigorously logical ways of iterating and solving internal and external programming challenges.